What's going on, guys? So I am trying this YouTube Live through Zoom. You can see the little watermark down there. And I'm going to see what this sounds like, what this looks like before I spend too much more time on it. So bear with me. I'm looking at my phone. Um, I want to see, I guess I should have thought of this first. Okay. I want to see if we can get this to share my screen. So I don't know if I have to leave that running or not. Anyway, let's see. Let's jump into it. All right, guys. So this has been the project. I am looking at creating a new blog post, trying to rank for one of the major search terms. I'm checking my live feed right now. Okay. You know, I'm gonna share this real quick. Hang out a sec, guys. Let me see if I can share this. Testing YouTube Live. I'm putting this out to my eCourse Live group. Cool. All right. So I've got two previous videos already recorded for this. The first video showed how I chose this keyword research. The second video kind of showed me creating the structure. This is the basic rough draft once it loads. This will be the rough draft for the article that I'm going to post. So what we've got here, this particular article was on a very popular keyword. So total knee replacement exercises PDF. That is the keyword that we were searching. I added the 2021 just to try and leverage the time of year. I came up with these subheadings. So this is the H1 tag, these subheadings, and you'll see this in the previous video once it gets posted. And then what I did was I just came through, now I'm doing a little proofreading. I came through and just answered these questions, right? And the way I explain, I think the best way to write a post is to pretend you're writing an email. You just evaluated a brand new patient. That patient now wants to contact you to ask you a follow-up question. And what you're doing is you're sending them an email. It's conversational to a degree, but still professional. And so, just to give you kind of a brief. So when should I start exercising after a total knee replacement? This is the kind of question somebody who is searching total knee replacement exercises might be wanting to know the answer to. In most cases, a physical therapist will meet with you in the recovery room to ensure that, to ensure you are able to stand, use a walker, crutches, and help you start the first series of exercises. So, and then I just go through and I embed links to videos, and you're going to see how that processes in Divi Builder. But right now, the post as of today stands at 1,500 words. So this is my draft. This is where I'm kind of beginning. I haven't really gotten into embedding links to professional research articles or anything like that, but I just want to show you guys where we start. So let's take this. Let's see if we can jump in. I know I've got a million tabs open here. Let me see if I can take you guys into the Divi theme and into the builder. Okay, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to get logged into my site. While I'm doing this, I'm going to try something. So I just stopped the sharing for a minute. You guys are still seeing me live, but I'm just not sharing my screen. And the reason why is because I'm going into open up a couple private pages that I obviously don't want all of YouTube to see. So guys, I'm going to do my best to keep an eye on the chat, but you just let me know. It says somebody's watching. Like I said, this is all new for me. 2021. This is the first time I'm doing a Zoom through YouTube Live through Zoom. Sounds like the sound is coming through okay. I don't hear any feedback. If you guys notice the closed captions that you see at the bottom of the screen, that's pretty cool. That's coming from Zoom itself. That's a feature available through Zoom. So, okay, let's share the screen again. And here we are behind the scenes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to new and we're going to go to post. I'm going to do everything right here from scratch. So you guys who are just getting started on your blog for 2021 can see the whole process. I'm going to Control C to copy that. I'm going to come in here, Control V to paste it. Now I am on a PC in case you're wondering. I'm going to make this home exercise program as my category. I don't have a featured image yet. I don't really have a text excerpt. But remember, this is what is going to trigger that click, right? You've got the headline, which isn't really necessarily that much of a clickbait, but here, the excerpt. So let's take a look here again. Let me go back. And if we take a look, total knee replacement exercises PDF. This was the search term that we were going after. This is what Google is giving us. So it's looking at ankle pumps, you know, blah, blah, blah. This is the featured snippet, the #1 organic result. If you are having problems with exercises, call the sports medicine North, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to get somebody to click. Beginning 3 to 4 days after surgery, you may apply heat under the knee. That's not going to get anybody to click. We want a click-worthy blurb right there. We want that to capture somebody's attention. So let's go back in here. And let's think about this article shares the most. Now, if you want to see which exercises you will be doing the first couple weeks after total knee replacement surgery. So exercises after total knee replacement surgery, think of the keywords that we're looking at here. Click here. I will also answer the most common questions. You will also see the most common questions real patients are asking. All right, let's start with that. I'm going to come down here. I like to turn off the sidebar. I like to hide the title because I use my own title module. And so we'll save that. In a moment, we'll go ahead and use the Divi Builder to start building. I might still tweak this title, but for right now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I told you guys, usually I'm going to use a clone, an existing page to pull in all the information. But because we're doing this from scratch, I'm clicking on doing it from scratch. The first row is going to be the post title. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go into elements. I'm going to get rid of the feature. Let me resize this so you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't have a featured image, but I got rid of the featured image because I don't want the featured image. I'm going to go to design. We're going to go to title. H1 is the header. And what we're going to do is I use this blue. I use the default font. I make it extra bold. I go with 40 point and I go 1.3 on the spacing. This is a single line, so it's not a big deal. But this part is done. What I also want to do is go to the section. I want to go to sizing and I want to make a maximum width of 800. Because blog posts are typically kind of narrow. I also want to go back in here and we want this to be center justified. So section alignment, center. Okay, so now we've got that floating center on the page. I also like to go back in here. This is why I don't, once I do it the first time, I don't do it. I go to spacing, 0 top margin, 0 top padding. I want it kind of pressed up close to the top of the page. Okay, let's add a new row. Actually, what we're going to do, let's add a new section. Actually, what we're going to do, trying to think. So these are the little frustrating bugs that happen. There's this space right in here. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but that light green. I don't want that space. I want this to come right up to the top. And then the module itself is going to be there. One of the problems when I have a 0 margin, 0 padding, I can't get to the section part, right? But I want to duplicate this section to carry forward the width and everything else. So one thing we can do in Divi is we can switch. Let me see if I can. Well, let's do this. I'm going to open a new section. That's weird. Insert a new row. This is going to be a text module. This is going to be the main part. Now you saw that it expanded out. Don't worry about that. We'll fix that. Let's come in here. Control A, Control C. I'm going to come back into my post. I'm going to highlight that. Now I've got all of my formatting from the Google Doc. I'm simply going to hit paste. And what's going to happen is it's going to paste everything in here with the formatting that I've already used. Now what we need to do is we need to make this formatting match our blog. Like the text is way too small. The spacing's all kind of wonky and out of sorts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the design tab. We're going to go to text first. I'm going to leave the default. I'm going to come down here and we're going to make the text size 22. We're going to make the line spacing 2EM. That gives us the spacing that's comfortable to read on pretty much all devices. We're going to go and close that. We're going to go to the text heading text under design. We're going to go to H2s. We're going to make those bold, just regular bold. So what you can see here is it didn't change our H2s. This is one of the frustrations that I always have going straight from Google Doc to Divi. I'm going to make this 34. Now it does change the size of the text. I'm going to make this 1.4 for my line. And I am going to get rid of, I don't need the title there because I've already got the title, but we do need these guys to match in terms of the bold text and fonts. So sometimes what I do is I can switch that. I can control some of the different heading sizes here, but it just doesn't quite do what I'm looking for. Obviously, I can manually kind of override this and I can put this in like that. Again, you know, it's not exactly what I'm looking for. I want an easier way to make this happen. So I'm going to hit Control X. Let me scroll down so you guys can see where I am right here. How often should I? Control X, Control V. That's all I did. I didn't change anything else. I did Control X, Control V. And what it did was it formatted this to match the recommended formatting. Now to do this globally, Control A, Control X, Control V. And so now what has happened is I've set up my formatting. So all of my H2 tags are bold. They're at font size 34. Like everything is working. Some of what I don't like here is still like some of these line heights are obviously way too big and then not big enough. So I'll go through and kind of tweak that up a little bit. But the other thing I wanted to show you was the video embeds. So nobody wants this link, right? That link is not visually appealing. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to hit Control X. I'm going to drop down one line. If I just do Control V again, it will embed the video automatically. So again, I come in here, Control X, enter, Control V, give it a second, Control X, enter, Control V. And so it's automatically taking those and turning them into embedded videos. Let me go ahead and exit so you can see what this is shaping up to look like. It'll be coming up here shortly. A couple little things. So we forgot to get rid of this header. We'll go back in and delete that. We forgot to change the width of this section to 800. We'll go back and do that. But now what we've got, we can do a little bit of fancier formatting and probably make this underline and bold, then drop the description down a line. But we've got these videos embedded in there, which are super, super helpful. Let's go back in here. We'll do a couple more tweaks and then I'll wrap this video up for you guys. Let's see. So, whoops. Let me do this. I'm going to go into the modules. I'm going to grab that, get that out of there. All right. I'm going to change the width because I want to see what this is going to look like. Sizing, max width 800. Center justify the section. This is a little more space than I want. So I want to crush that down to 0. I want to crush that down to 0. This is probably a little more space even than I want. So I'm going to bring that up. Okay. So little things that we can kind of play with. If I bring that up, right, let's see what this looks like. Visually, it's not bad. It's really not. I probably like that spacing just a little bit better. I don't know why this does that. These guys worked out great. That one didn't. Oops. Okay. Let's exit it. Let's save it. Let's see what we've got. Sometimes what I'll do too as well is I'll come back in here and I'll kind of play around with the size of these videos. At a width of 800, the video is not as obnoxious. When it's a full width, the video is just huge and I can't even stand it. But here is where we are. This little table of contents auto populates. This is something that it's a free plugin that I downloaded. I'll record a new video kind of sharing it so you can see what it looks like. But outside of that, we've got a decent start to the website. A couple things we need to do is we need to embed affiliate links. There are a couple mentions of products that I recommend that should go in here. we can take a look just to kind of go back up here. The reason why I like this guy so much, like how much water should I be drinking while exercising? Boom, takes you right down there. I've got this WebMD link that takes you out to hydration for a little bit of expert advice. I've got some bullets. Obviously, I need to get rid of the space here and kind of spread the bullets out a little bit. A couple other things, actually. Let me do this since we have a little bit of time. So I enable the Divi Builder again. I want to scroll down to the bottom. I'll fix all that spacing stuff. Okay, so we're down here. I'm going to add another section. I'm going to make it a regular section, and I'll just put in a blank row. I'm going to add a row from the library, and this is the About Me, about the author. Anthony Maritato, PT, has been a licensed physical therapist since 2006. I specifically say licensed physical therapist because I'm building authority in the Google search algorithm. I want them to understand I am licensed. He specializes in post-surgical care and rehabilitation of total knee replacement and rotator cuff repair surgery. This site is going to be those two topics primarily. I'm not a doctor of physical therapy. Maritato is also nationally recognized as a therapist educator, teaching courses on Medicare reimbursement, contracting, documentation. Total Therapy Solutions is Tony's private practice, which he owns with his wife, Kathy, who is also a licensed physical therapist. So just establishing kind of who I am, why you should be listening to me. Now, in the next video, I'll have this all formatted so that it visually looks appealing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at creating the PDF, because remember, this is Total Knee Replacement Exercises PDF. And I'll probably have a button, maybe even right at the top, that allows somebody to click and open or download the PDF file that has the embedded exercises here. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Post your questions in the YouTube comments, and I'll catch you on the next video. Now I need to figure out if I stop sharing, when this stops